effects. Flex, the livest one in the section. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walking, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Lightweight, baby. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Do y'all know what today is? It is indeed
Monkey Tuesday.
Come on in, smash the like button. Got a few things I'm going to discuss. See everybody in. Hype the video, share the video, share the video, share the video. I'm about to make some points. And I want the YNs, or the grown adolescents with YN mentalities, I want y'all to pull up and have a seat. I'm gonna show y'all something. If y'all are open to having a conversation or open to learning something, you know, see the problem with these kids today, or these adults that aren't fully developed mentally. The problem with y'all today is that you're afraid to admit when you do not know something. And when somebody who does know what you don't know points out a discrepancy, a disrespectful one at that, y'all have used this term called hate. You don't know what hate is. That's why I asked these clowns, do you hate yourself? Y'all have no idea what hatred is. Y'all have no clue. Y'all have no clue. And what's wrecked is you don't even want to listen. Your ego prohibits you from accepting when you have something wrong. I've seen these clowns literally get on my platform and lie. I repeat, lie about their association with professional boxers or their teams. I put out that short video. Listen, there's some comedic value behind that, but y'all do understand that that's sad. That was a grown man lying about his association with a fighter that he's infatuated with. Do y'all understand that that's like that is a tragic and ridiculous thing to do? That fella's at least in his 30s. And I let these people onto the platform so y'all can hear them. We're not exaggerating. We're not making this up. This is a real thing. And this is what we deal with. And then, you know, you got other men, grown men with multiple children from multiple women that get on a platform and will argue you down in defense of a fighter. And we're having two different conversations. All we want is for that fighter that they idolize. That's what it is, because these are grown men idolizing fighters. We're talking about the sport. They're talking about something else. They idolize this guy to the point where they will argue you down and don't even know what they're fighting about. And in the same breath say, well, I'm a casual. So what are you fighting for? because you're talking about something else. I'm talking about the sport. I try and keep it simple over here. This fighter gets this praise. He has contemporaries. All we want to see this fighter do is clean up on aisle 6, clean it up. And I hear excuses for these fighters not doing what they do, what they're supposed to do. And when we call out the discrepancies, we're met with a lot of resistance, and it makes zero sense. That's where the homosexual allegations come. That's where that, because it's like, what else is it? What are you talking about? He beats everybody around him, and all we're saying is fight him, and then you tell us that he doesn't have to do anything? What? Of course he does. He chose to be a fighter. So if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, what are you idolizing? Braided hair, chrome hearts, tattoos, greasy hair. And as a grown man, we ask, what's that about? Now, I'm going to point this out again. And I see y'all in it. I skipped the roll call this morning. I see everybody. I needed to get to this. What better day to do this than Monkey Tuesday? Because I'm going to show you right now how you knuckle draggers, you big-lipped, banana-smelling, chicken grease juggling, watermelon biting with one bite, just the whole watermelon, how they just play it in your face and you don't even know what they did. You have no idea what they just did in your face. But if you're young, you don't care about no Larry Holmes. Exit out the old and in with the new, right? You don't care. You don't know what's going on. You have no idea. But I'm going to show you. Because, you know, it's the LDBC. We always thinking it's racist, it's racist, it's racist. Yeah, prove to me it's not. There was a black murderer's row, and there still is a black murderer's row. Because the attempt was there. The attempt was there. I told you guys, this Inouye kid, I already saw this before. I've seen this before. Drew, what do you think about annoying in the way? That's what I call him, annoying in the way. And I said, whatever. Well, what are you doing? What do you mean? He's collecting belts, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, all right. Talk to me when he hangs up his gloves, and I'll evaluate him. Don't ask me about his place in history right now. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Oh, but he's a champion at 105 and 110 and 115. But okay, there's 3 pounds separating all of those weight classes. Those guys could starve themselves to make 105 and then eat a turkey dinner and be 115 the next day. I don't care about, I really don't. Don't tell me that this guy's great and you don't know anybody that's fighting down there. Please stop. Please stop. But did you ever hear me say he's trash? Go ahead. Tell me that you heard me say, yo, Inouye's trash. Tell me. I never said it. I'm hard pressed to say that about any fighter. You never heard me say it. My brother Trill Will in that super chat, much love. He says, show love where you get love. Salute, big bro. Keep teaching. I'm on the job. Salute to you. Stormy, I sent you a link, brother, if you have time. I just said, hey, man, listen, I'm just not impressed. You know why? I understand the machine. We've seen this before. Y'all remember Chocolatito? Were y'all around for that? Y'all remember when he was #1 pound for pound and everybody was talking about him? Oh, here comes Showtime. Oh, Chocolatito. And I'm like, who the F is this? I'm like, here we go. And I didn't say anything. You never heard me say he was trash. And I'm watching him fight one night. I'm like, oh yeah, he's skillful. Yeah. I'm watching him fight, and he fought a guy named Sarung Basai. Go watch that fight, bro. Go watch that fight. You know what happened, right? Slept him. Now here's my question. Who the hell was checking for Sarung Basai? Let me talk to the knuckle draggers, because the others I don't care. Let me talk to you dark skin. Let me talk to you darkies. Y'all are so quick to hop on these bandwagons. Y'all don't even know why. It's really easy to distract you knuckle draggers. It's real easy. It's like when the baby is like a baby. Willie Lowe, salute, Bomb Squad, is crying, and you grab a shiny object and all of a sudden their eyes get big. It's like, oh, what is that? Yeah, just take that. I just need you to stop crying. See what I mean? That's y'all. Y'all are easily distracted. Easily distracted. Easily. And then they feed you these statistics and you regurgitate it. You don't even know if this is true or not. You don't know. You can't just tell me any old thing. You could mention it and I'm like, okay, let me get back to you. I'll look it up myself. And they do this with black statistic all the time. Didn't Oprah Winfrey made a 35-year living off of degrading black men to the point where when the information became easily accessible, she couldn't lie about it no more. You remember when black fathers, black men are either dead or in jail? We knock up chicks and don't stay home. Turns out, and I'm looking around, I'm like, that's not men in my family. Where's she getting this from? Maybe men in my family are just special. No, guess what? She made it up. It was a half truth. Some of it was true. A majority of it wasn't. The rap music didn't help either. So they put that on a pedestal. And the real black men doing real black things fell to the wayside. 35 years later, she's backtracking on the shit she said, but the damage is done. And this new breed of modern women were raised on that tone. And it's hard to deprogram that. You can't. I have friends that went to war. And the ones that made it home, they told me some weird stuff. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They said, yo, do you know we had to watch children when they walked by our Jeeps and stuff? I said, why? They had guns? He said, worse, they had bombs on them. They would walk up to us and hug us and then explode. I was like, what? He's like, I swear to God. I said, what? He said, yo, when you're raised to hate a certain people, from the womb, you're taught, hate America, hate America, hate America. And you will sacrifice yourself in the name of Allah. And when you die, you'll go to heaven and you'll get 42 virgins and a crap load of goats. And you're taught that from the time you was an infant to the time you're 15 years old. That's just what you believe. So they walking up to the military. Hey, I need some food, and they hand them a canteen. Next thing you know, the kid blow up. Take out 3 soldiers. That was happening. I couldn't believe that. I was like, what? He said, I swear to God, bro. Swear to God. I didn't even, bro. I'm so glad I chickened out, bro. I'm so glad I chickened out. I can't fathom that. But I brought that up to say this. These kids and these grown adolescents that just decided to watch boxing in the last 2 years, 3 years, I say 5 years. Y'all not even watching boxing. Y'all are watching Y'all are watching cock. Y'all are watching cock. That's what you're doing. Now, good morning, Stormy. I'll pass it to you in a second. My point that I'm making to you this morning is that to the people in my comment section, to the people in my chat, I say this all the time. People have to qualify to talk boxing with you. I will have a conversation with a casual who's willing to listen and understand and ask me questions when they don't know something. I'm no longer in the business of talking to casuals who want to argue with me. When I told y'all when I was younger and I would buy these the magazines that were in touch with the music culture, the black music culture, all the girls wanted out of my magazine. They didn't care about the latest album coming out. They didn't care about who's going on tour and the producers and things like that. I cared about that. They wanted those pictures. They wanted the Ralph Tresvant fold-out posters. They wanted the LL Cool J fold-out posters, the Heavy D's. What me as a young man, what would I want a poster of those male rappers on my wall in my room? Why would I want that? No, it's not for me. It's for them. And I would give it to the girls. This is how I see these grown-ass men fighting on the behalf of guys like Mellow Yellow when you got things like this really happening. Now, Drew, what am I talking about with this annoying in the way? I'm going to read what they put about 2 days ago. Annoying in the way is the first man in 42 years to defend the ring title 4 times in a calendar year. The last man to do that was Larry Holmes in 1983. Can I ask y'all a question? First of all, who the fuck cared about that stat until 2 days ago? Who was even considering that 2 days ago? And now that they've said that, how many monkeys are running around talking about this is why he's great? How many? Now, when Larry Holmes did it 42 years ago, you know what a monkey will tell me? If I said this 2 weeks ago, man, Larry Holmes was an OG, man. He was great. Why? Yo, you know, back in 83, he defended the ring title 4 times in a year. You know what the monkey's going to say to me? Well, who'd he fight, though? Who'd he beat? I don't know who he beat. Who'd he beat? I only saw highlights of him getting knocked out by Mike Tyson. Who'd he beat? But now that these frauds have said that Inouye has done it, now it's a stat in the books. And now they've armed these casuals and these assholes with this stupid ass piece of information to compare him not only to an all-time great, but he so happens to be black. Okay? Now, before I give it to Stormy, let me point something else out to you. This picture's racist. The one in the middle that I made move. Y'all want to know why I think it's racist? Well, I know it's racist. Y'all not even thinking on my wavelength. Why do you think that the way they have him next to Larry, why do you think I'm saying it's racist? Well, let me give it to Stormy before I prove my point. Do you know why I say that this is racist, Stormy, by chance?
This picture, your animated picture, why it's racist?
Yep. See y'all in the chat. Y'all are thinking. I like y'all. Y'all knew right away. Y'all knew right away. Y'all knew right away.
Yeah, you know, I'm not even gonna say it because you know it's obvious. It's very obvious.
It's obvious, bro. That's why I put my meme there. That's the real size. That's the real fucking size. Man, I'm so mad with this. That's the real size. And I said, why the fuck? In fact, man, please. I met Larry Holmes a year and a half ago. I'm 6'2". Larry's about 6'4". Why they got a Nui in there like they're the same size? You gotta be kidding me. But wait a minute. Drew, you're overdoing it. No, I'm not. Listen carefully. Listen carefully.
Of Africa on world maps is completely wrong. Africa is much bigger than you can possibly imagine. I'm going to tell you why the true size of Africa was distorted, who distorted it, and how big Africa actually is. Pay attention. The most common map we use to view the world is the Mercator projection created by Gerardus Mercator in 1569. The world is spherical and continents on the equator were challenging to depict at that time by Europeans.
Flat earthers, relax.
To whom Africa was still a mystery. Why this error has never been corrected on world maps is interesting. How big is Africa? It's over 30 million square kilometers. That's larger than the United States, China, India, and most of Europe combined.
You wanna know what's funny? Look at China. What shape is it in? Why the fuck did they put China in the United States of America shape? Y'all know why. Y'all better wake up. What's going on in this world right now is demonic. Pick up your Bible and read it. Pick up your Bible and read it. 30 million square kilometers. And on a world map, they have it as the same size as South America.
Yes, most of the other continents.
Look at that. United States, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, Eastern Europe, China, China Part 2, India. That can all fit on the continent of Africa and Japan down there. Look at that.
Continents can fit into Africa. This
kind of symbolic of something else too, ain't it?
Yeah. You can fit all those countries on that continent. Why every map that you've seen since birth, when you was in school, the world map, Africa is the same size as South America. I saw a satellite picture of Africa from space years ago, and I said, what the fuck? Africa on a world map it should be the biggest thing on the map. But they shrunk it down so they could fit it. They didn't want to make the map bigger. They shrunk it down.
They gave it that anaconda. You remember Black Dynamite?
Yeah,
Anaconda?
they gave the anaconda. Yeah, the anaconda. They shrunk it. They shrunk it. Why? So y'all don't even know racism starts from when you go to school. You didn't even know that, did you? You're welcome. Monkeys. So when they put this picture up, and I'm looking at it like, what the fuck? What would be the problem of them putting the Nui, his natural size, standing in front of Larry Holmes, and Larry Holmes just standing behind him? Like maybe making anime, putting his hands on his shoulder, like, good job, kid. No, they want to make him the same size as Larry Holmes, as to say we're all equal, as to say, pound for pound, if Larry and him was the same size, he might be able to fuck with Larry. Do y'all understand? Or is this too deep for you casuals and you big lip monkeys? You bumpy knuckle monkeys. Right? You same big lip jaw jacking monkeys. You guys want him in the ring with Mellow Yellow. Never mind the fact that this dude fights at 126. You want that fight for him. Now watch this. I'm gonna tell you right now, if that fight even hits the negotiation table, I'm telling you right now. See, in this way you're gonna lose these niggas. Annoying in the way is the A side. Uh-oh. No, he's not, Drew. Yes, he is. Watch this, Stormy. He has a country behind him. Whoa! Uh-oh. You feeling it now? You feeling it now? Uh-oh. He has a country behind him. Japan is bigger than Baltimore. Yeah. And guess what? Annoying in the way ain't gotta come to America to fight this guy. He ain't gotta go to Vegas. What do we mean? If he's not fighting in Japan, they fighting in the Middle East. Then what you gonna do? Then all of a sudden, y'all gonna be talking about hand wraps now, right? You're gonna be talking about hand wraps then, right? Hand wraps. Now you're gonna be talking about hand wraps. Make sure the wraps are all right. Right? I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a problem. Y'all don't want this fight. Because this kid ain't beating women. This kid is, they calling him #1 pound for pound. Then all of a sudden, when they start throwing all of his accolades in y'all face, what's going to be your argument? Y'all don't have an argument now because I'm pointing out the truth about this kid. So y'all want to fuss with me because it's personal. I understand. But now, when that ball is in your court and the shoe is on the other foot, you're going to have a problem. And I'm calling it right now. If that fight becomes a reality, he's going to beat him. He's going to beat Mellow Yellow. He's going to beat him. Ain't no way. He's going to beat him because Annoying in the Way has the entire world machine behind him. This right here sealed it. And this is why I don't fuck with this kid. This is why I didn't fuck with Lomachenko. This is why I didn't entertain on Chocolatito bullshit. I didn't entertain it. This is what Triple G, I didn't entertain it. I knew they couldn't wait to do. They were trying to find something to put this kid on our level. And I'm talking about black fighters. I don't care about those booger weights. I don't care about anything. They needed something to put him on our level. I don't hear them talking about, hey, man, Gary Russell, 126. So, I don't hear them talking about that. Somebody dug up this stat, and by the way, we don't even know if this is true. I haven't researched it yet. Because they say a lot of weird shit. They couldn't wait to put this kid in a category where he could be compared to a black fighter. And y'all will never understand why this right here is a spit in the face. You casuals can't tell me anything about Larry Holmes. But because these guys say it, you take it as true. The continent of Africa is the biggest continent on the world map. Larry Holmes is 6'4". Annoying in the Way is about 5'3"? And in this picture, he's bigger than life. Standing right next to an actual all-time great. Larry Holmes has been in there from the likes of Mike Tyson to Muhammad Ali to Ernie Shavers 2 times. Who the fuck fights Ernie Shavers 2 times? Here come the casuals. Who's Ernie Shavers? Man, shut up. He did it twice. I don't know how this man got up when Ernie Shavers hit him clean. Back then, getting hit clean by Ernie Shavers was equivalent to eating a clean right hand from Deontay Wilder. The difference is Larry got up and watch this. Stormy, wasn't that like round 14? What round was that?
I think that was like round 7 or 8.
7 or 8? I don't remember. And he finished the fight?
Yep.
Y'all have no idea. Y'all have no clue. Ernie Shavers was punching like George Foreman, bro. Y'all have no idea. Larry ate that, and the fight was supposed to be over. Larry got up and finished the fight. Mind you, he was fighting when it was 15 rounds, bruh. Get the foot, man. Stop it, man. There is no comparison. Now, I'm going to research this stat. But my thing is this. I wasn't thinking about this stat at all. But now it's a stack. And now the annoying in the way fans, now they have something to hold on to. And now when you challenge them on this, they're going to make the comparisons. Well, how many times was Larry undisputed? And who did he beat in that 4-year calendar? What was their resume? What was their... Man, shut up, bro. I'm not having this conversation. That's why I'm killing it this morning. Larry Holmes was a heavyweight champion. And if you fought 4 times in a year as a heavyweight champion, that's something to be honored for. You can't tell me who Larry fought in that calendar year. I can't tell you who this man beat to become undisputed. Because no one cares. This kid is built. Stop sick and duck. Todd French in that super chat, he says, Cook, Drew, this dude not only was stacking, that's one thing, but he was double stacking. How has non-moral ethical conduct being accepted these days now? Wow. Larry never stacked. Larry never stacked. This dude was double stacking, y'all. I ain't even getting to that. I ain't even getting to that. He was told about stacking, and he went down there and tried to do it anyway, and then magically he don't get no KO. But he don't get no KO when he didn't stack, but he sure did get a lot of praise. Let me try and find. Go ahead, Stormy. Let me. I gotta look for something real quick.
I don't know what you need me to comment on. Listen, man. They've always looked to our fighters, our champions, as the standard bearers. When someone wants to have consideration for measures of greatness, they've always looked to our fighters, our people. But they don't want to acknowledge our greatness. But anytime they seek to tell you someone is, they grab one of our fighters and tell you, oh, I haven't seen anything since the likes of so-and-so.
Yep.
They never go to their own fighters of their own cultures and ethnic basis. Never. Never. I've been talking about Bam Rodriguez being one of the best Latin fighters I've seen since Salvador Sanchez. I've been the only one to say anything like that. Now, there's another fighter who was equally as good in regard, but I went to Salvador Sanchez on purpose because I just wanted to see if people would pay attention. And guess what? They're not. Mm-hmm. Because the other fighter that I would consider would be Ricardo Lopez.
They don't even know who that is.
But this is when you study the sport, when you research for yourself and find out. It's unfortunate that Salvador lived a short life because he passed away tragically in a car accident, and he was only like 23 years old. But in his last title defense, he defeated a man who would go forward in boxing and be profound enough that he developed the name The Professor and was a rival to anyone on a pound for pound list. And that was the fighter that people would measure by when you talked about Salvador, because he was no longer around. And people still don't even know who Salvador Sanchez was and what he was able to accomplish. On the flip side of everything that he was doing, there were fighters with outstanding knockout records. There were fighters that were outstanding in being able to box, lose a fight, come back or whatever. But against Salvador, he picked you apart, and there was like no reason to even consider a rematch with the man. Jesse Bam Rodriguez is doing some similar things at those smaller weights, much more worthy of acknowledgement than this guy.
That's right.
But it's amazing how they do this stuff, because this is a part of this what is it? DNI, DIN? What is that?
DEI.
DEI. Yeah, they're doing that because this is what the focus is now.
That I stands for inclusion. They want to include.
Yeah, they want people to be a part of something. But guess what? Being a part of something. Remember this participation trophy?
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
You see? Now, where are we since that originally was introduced to our social consciousness? Think about that. These are the children that are now adults.
That's right.
But when they were children, their parents were the one that formed this ideology, participation trophy. Why can't my son be included? Do you remember when you were in grade school, from kindergarten going to grade school, you didn't graduate? They got kids graduating from the natural transition in life now because they want to make it feel like it's an accomplishment.
That's right.
It's not an accomplishment. It's a part of what's supposed to be with your process. But because you still had those who couldn't make the grade with that, they had to find a way. Do you remember you used to have, they kept attendance records in school. And when you had perfect attendance, there was a merit for that. You got some kind of acknowledgement and everything for the calendar year. They did away with that because you had so many misfits missing class, parents who were too lazy to get them up and take them to class and everything, and they didn't want to shame anybody. You're supposed to be ashamed that you don't take your child to school.
That's right.
You're supposed to be ashamed that your child doesn't apply themselves in school. And when they really seriously had drawbacks and setbacks from a mental standpoint, there were special classes for those people. Then you ended up having people who didn't have those drawbacks and setbacks getting placed in those classes because they weren't applying themselves. Think about that. Just because you're not trying. So they do away with that, and then they make sure that, well, Johnny gets a trophy and Sally gets a trophy and everything, but Johnny can't even spell his name. But he could curse with fervor because that's all that happens in his household. He could tell you to suck on things that anatomically that children shouldn't even be talking about.
That's right.
But he can't count to 20. He doesn't know how to read out of the most basic of books. But he got an earring in his ear. All of these things were part of the society that you know, and I'm a grandparent to this society now. So I'm not lying to you.
You want to
People need to research and look up who was the last great, well-known Japanese fighter. and find out how many years ago, how many generations ago that fighter was considered elite and the top of the class in the sport of boxing.
There you go.
The decades back that it goes will strike you down.
This is a creation. And this is my point. They need one. So when I say he's manufactured, this is what the hell I'm talking about. Todd French in that super chat, he says, funny how cheetah's power don't translate in Riyadh. Of course not. Anui, Fury, no more bone crushing, skull crushing power. All right, this is what we're talking about. DEI in boxing. As my brother Black Martial Arts Society just said in the chat. Absolutely. Everybody gets a trophy as a child. You know, my nephew had Little League games back in the day. And the first thing I noticed is all the kids got a goddamn trophy, but the actual team that won, they won. They put in the work, and they all looking around like, you know, wow, they getting one too? What the fuck we work? What did we work so hard for? You know, and I was never cool with that. Now, in an adult version, now you think that's harmless, what we're talking about. No Child Left Behind Act, courtesy of George Bush #2. Do you know what that did? Let me tell you the domino effect. No Child Left Behind Act. Because they don't want their kids feeling some sort of way. So your kid goes to school, puts in the work, honor roll, and he gets to graduate. But the whole time his class was disrupted every 5 minutes by little Timmy. But little Timmy gets the same result. He gets to graduate, he gets to walk next to your son. And Timmy ain't do anything. So Timmy starts dicking around through life. Timmy's dad and mom are cool with that. Because now they ain't got to worry about Timmy not graduating and looking crazy because they ain't do what they were supposed to do in the house. So now the neighborhood don't know Timmy's a fabulous fuck up because of his parents, right? Now watch this. A few years later, there was something called, I forgot what the act was called, but it translated to everybody gets a house. For those of you in the chat that are homeowners, y'all know what I'm talking about. This was years ago. This was also under the Bush administration. Everybody got a house. Do y'all remember what happened after that in this country? Let me give you a little bit of math. If you know, you know. People were getting homes. $300,000 properties, especially up here in my state. It's ridiculous. $200,000 homes. $300,000 homes. And what did homie do for a living? He drove a cab. What was his top salary? Like $35,000 a year. If you know math, there's no way you're making $35,000 a year and you should be getting a credit. You should be getting a home at $300,000 a year. The math ain't mathing. The bank is not making their money back off you. Off of a home loan. They're not. Corner girl, exactly. Enter the housing crisis. Everybody ate it. Everybody ate it. And I don't want to get too technical, but I knew people in the middle of that. But I'm telling you, the banks was making money hands over fist for a little while. They were refinancing everybody, giving out loans and robbing Peter to pay Paul. And then what happened? The shit bust. It was a recipe for disaster. And it turned into the housing crisis. I ain't gonna get too deep. Y'all do y'all research on that. Everybody ate it on that. And we was like, yo, and people, I remember watching the news back then. Fox News loved it. Oh man, everybody should get a home. And you turn over to MSNBC, they was like, yo, this is not good, man. I don't know when we're gonna bite it, but we're gonna bite it soon. You know, this is not for real, man. We're gonna hurt ourselves. And what happened? We had the housing crisis. Just look it up. Just look it up. It was bad. That's a direct result of giving people. helping people feel good instead of doing what's right. If you can't afford a home, get a better job. You might be cool just driving a cab all your life. I'm not knocking you. At least you're working, but you don't qualify for that $300,000 property. You might have to live in a one-bedroom apartment all your life. Maybe that's your destiny. Whatever. No child left behind turned into the damn housing crisis. You see, it's a domino effect. There's a lot of these bum-ass dudes walking around my borough right now. Well, I'm about to get me a house. I'm about to get me a house. You know what happened in 3 years? They couldn't afford the house. They're trying to refinance their home, and now they're trying to move tenants in. Some of these guys got put out their cribs. You get you try and refinance the home, right? This is a true story. Refinance the home, right? You get a loan from the bank. Refinance to mean the bank gives you bread and you borrow from the equity of the home, right? They cut you a check. It could be a big check. What Katz was telling them to do, yo, look, you got like 4 bedrooms. You got a basement apartment. You know, all you got to do is do some major, well, you got enough room in the basement to make it an apartment. You know, my cousin Vinny is an appraiser. I'll just send him over there so he could check it out and say, hey, man, this is a legal apartment. You know, you're a little short on the footage, but I can make it an apartment. You know what I'm saying? What you need to do, though, is rent out the basement and the first floor and charge this amount, and boom, you could pay your mortgage with one apartment pays the mortgage, the other apartment you pocket in the money. You cut these niggas a check. Y'all want to, true story, y'all. Y'all want to guess what these niggas did when they got the check cut from the bank? Instead of taking it and hiring some people to make the basement apartment an actual apartment and the first floor apartment livable, what do you think these niggas did? Don't you know these niggas went out and bought cars?
Bought some gold chains.
Yeah, bought some gold chains, went on the cruises and shit. Before the cruises became a thing, because for a long time, black people didn't think we could do the Love Boat. That's still new to us. These niggas went and niggered themselves out, gold teeth, gold chains, Lexuses, and then they called a bank back in 6 months. Hey, man, I need another loan. Huh? I just gave you a loan. Your equity was X amount of dollars. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, well, you know, I bought the car in mine. What? You were supposed to take that money and get your house fixed up to rent out 2 apartments. What are you talking? I can't do nothing for you now. They lost the home, but they got their Lexus. They got their Mercedes.
And they can trade the gold chains in for some handcuffs.
That's right. That's right. Don't tell me what your priorities are. Show me where you spend your money, and I'll tell you what they are. I know this because I was working with Sterling National Bank on a consultant basis at that time. That's how I got put up on game. I watched this shit. They gave me a lead list. They say, yo, this area, do you know about this area? I say, yeah, I know about this area very well. What's over there? And I'm looking at the prices of the homes. I said, damn. I said, well, a lot of those brothers over there, they're cab drivers. They drive school buses. They work at these corner stores, and I mean, not real cab drivers. They were called dollar cabs. So I said, I don't know. And you pulling up their salary. Look at that, $35,000, $40,000. That property's $250,000. I'm like, should y'all be giving them this money? They're like, hey, the president. I said, damn, bro. Well, whatever. So the cold callers and the bankers, they were making money at first. But when that crisis hit, everybody felt it. If you ain't saved your bread, you were in trouble. See, I was already working for the city, so I was like, yeah, all right, y'all call me when y'all fire this goddamn boiler room back up, y'all call me. I said, I'm good. Fuck that. Todd French in that super chat, he said, also, would I be wrong for stating that a true evaluation of a fighter should be in Riyadh season in Riyadh, as the conditions would be close as equal as a playing field. Well, I know what you're saying, Todd, but you know what the haters are going to say? They're going to focus on the relationship between Hamza Shiraz and Turki Al-Sheikh when he went to his corner and says, "You down by 2 rounds." They're going to focus on that. I say, F that. I don't care about that. I know I watched Tyson Fury fight 3 times in Riyadh season. He looked pretty damn normal to me. He fought the nail biter and lost twice. That's Tyson Fury. This kid ain't got no stacked raps. He don't get a knockout, but they damn sure put him in the same sentence as Larry Holmes. Peep the play. You see, Turkey's footing the bill, but he can't watch everything. I still watch this black dude and Max Kellerman and Mike Cappinger on that. I see clips of that show that they have, and it's complete and total nonsense. It's total nonsense. And now they got what's his name up there talking sometimes. D's old trainer, Malik Scott up there sometimes. But the show is horrible. The shit that they talk. And who's that black dude again? I forgot. Isn't he a football player? Why is he talking? Get out of here with this Anubi shit. Get out of here. Yeah, Isaiah, the PPP loans, man, please, man. All these scams, all of this because people don't want to work. Everyone's looking for the latest scheme. People going to jail over those loans. It's called a loan. I don't want no loans. I got A1 credit. You know what I mean? Every other day, people offering me all kinds of cards with like $100,000 worth of credit, $50,000. I don't need that, bro. My credit was trash 25 years ago. It took me a long time to get it right. I'm not perfect, but it took me a long time to get it right. Is that dude, Marcellus Wiley? That's him? I don't even know who homie is. But they got to have somebody on there that's just, doesn't know what he's talking about. And then you got Cappinger, who's been lying to us from day one, and Max Kellerman, who's been assimilated. He's been caught in several goddamn lies. I'm not listening to nobody that told me once upon a time that Gennady Golovkin was better than Marvin Hagler. Right off the bat, please stop talking to me, bro. I don't want to hear it. Y'all remember the Gennady Golovkin thing? Dogs, I was on Facebook at the time having full-blown arguments with people. Like, no, he's not on the same level as Marvelous Marvin Hagler. What are y'all talking about? Get out of here. Golovkin couldn't even beat half the people on his resume. What are you talking about? Oh, well, I don't know anybody on his resume. Man, you're also 20 years old. YouTube and highlights don't cut it, man.
Check this out. Check this out. Golovkin was as great as Marvin Hagler, right? Okay. Well, you remember the statement about we can whoop anyone from 154 to 175, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. But there was one fighter in particular who said, okay, I'm your Huckleberry. Come on up here to 168.
And then what'd he say?
And let's get it on. But check this out. That fighter who made that remark was never equated with Marvin Hagler, was he?
There you go. There you go.
And what was said when the fighter invited him to the ring? What was said?
He was too big. Stop bullying the smaller guy. That's what he said. That's what was said.
And what did the fighter Golovkin, what did he say himself?
He said, no, he's too big. No, not today. He's a good boy, but not today. No, guys, he's too big.
But you ready for Marvin Hagler, though?
Right. Fuck out of here, man. Then they told SOG, stop bullying the smaller guy. Go up and wait and fight the killer, the crusher. He didn't bat an eye. He said, you know what, Lil G, and mind you, Andre Ward gave Gennady Golovkin that name, Little G. It wasn't us. He said that shit. He said that shit. And he said it on Twitter. He said, all right. He went up and fought Sullivan Barrera. I watched that fight. He beat Barrera's ass, knocked him down and everything. And then fought the killer, not once but twice. He beat him the first time. Y'all got mad. Got up off the floor to beat him too, by the way. Beat him the first time and y'all got mad. Ran it back and stopped him, and then y'all still mad. Told me, oh, he hit me low. No, he didn't. Those were belt line. Those were belt line punches. And Kovalev is weak to the body, period. Stopped him. Now what y'all got to say? I say, man, Andre Ward, he's all-time great. No, he's not. I said, well, he won the Super 6. Oh, that was 1 million years ago. Well, you know it was 2 million years ago? Gennady Golovkin and Vasily Lomachenko's amateur career. Because I swear to God, when these Europeans come over here, they come over here at 30 years old, and they say, oh, they got 1,000 amateur wins. You've been beating on 15-year-olds for like 3 years. And then you come over here, and that's the first thing y'all throw in our face. Oh, he's an Olympian. And he got 1,000 amateur victories. I don't care. Andre Ward fought in the Super 6, and he won. And he was in there with some decent guys. And he beat them. And he won. Don't downplay that and then talk to me about no goddamn amateur career. I'm not listening to you. I'm not listening to you. You guys are ridiculous. This is why I can't stand y'all. This is why I can't stand you. And then you want to say that Golovkin is on the level as Marvin Hagler. These dudes can't. They were waiting. They want this kid to be accepted in history. So, you know why? Because he's rocking the brand of Riyadh. This is the marketing part. And I get it, but I'm just not falling for it. How do we make this kid acceptable to the American public? I say let him do it organically. But the reality is nobody in America pays attention to those booger weights. That's just the reality. I'm not paying attention to this shit. But if he's doing things down there that's great, fine. But he'll never be a rock star here in New York or in Chicago or in LA or in Texas. He just won't be. Unless somebody has unless he has a rival that's American born that can get the size of a pygmy. Those dudes is little. That's it. He will be acknowledged, but when you try and force feed us this bullshit, that's when I put up the resistance and have to call these motherfuckers out on it. This is ridiculous. They have him in here the same size as Larry Holmes and saying that he accomplished something that Larry Holmes did. Larry Holmes is one of the most disrespected boxers of all time. Look it up. Y'all don't know about the Jerry Cooney rivalry, and Jerry had nothing to do with that. It was built off of race. That was all Cooney's management and Don King's management. The fighters had nothing to do with it. Him and Jerry and Larry are friends to this day. But Larry was disrespected. And you know the kiss of death was with him? When he said, Rocky Marciano couldn't hold my jock strap. That was a kiss of death for him. White America hated him for that. Because at that time, white America still held on to the hope that there was somebody that could dethrone a black champion. That's why they built off of Jerry Cooney. That's why they tried to get behind Tommy Morrison. And shout out to Tommy Morrison because he openly said out loud, I'm no great white hype. I'm not trying to be that. So salute to him. And the Duke was pretty good. He didn't win all his fights, but he was pretty good. He could fight. He was a quality guy. But he didn't pick up that mantle. He didn't play that shit. So shout out to him. But Larry Holmes, Larry Merchant was one of the people that disrespected him. Had nothing good to say about him. I watched these things. Larry Merchant would disrespect Holmes. I seen him disrespect B-Hop. He disrespected Roy Jones. But Ricardo Mayorga get in there and go upside Vernon Forrest's head and smoked a cigarette inside the building, and he said, "We toast you," while he was laughing. But that went right over your head. You see casuals, don't talk to me ever. My brother Scott Lennon in that super chat, salute to you, brother. He says, big up Drew in chat. Hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and have a blessed 2026. We plan on it, brother. Thank you. I hope you have as well. Thank you so much, good brother. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Renzo in that super chat, salute. He says, it's rinse and repeat for old media and the anti-black fans and casuals. Since Black Americans have been competing, we've excelled and set the standard. 100%.
I'm going to
And
say
they could
something.
not wait to do something like this. I knew they were going to do that. I said, he's going to do something. And I said this kid's going to do something, and they're going to look for that to compare him to a black champion. But I never thought it'd be Larry Holmes. And this is disrespectful. The picture in that bullshit stat that nobody was even thinking about. I wasn't even thinking about this. This tells you that they had to dig deep. They had to dig real deep. And for all we know, they made him fight 4 times in a year. Why did they make this fight literally the last week of the year? This was the play. This was the play. There's a lot of standards. There's a lot there's a lot of stats that black fighters have set. And they said, what can we get this little dude to do so we can put him in the same sentence as somebody? He ain't defended the WBC championship 10 times. He hasn't done that. In one weight class, he hasn't done that. What else? He's not winning these championships and defending them in multiple weight classes, so they can't give him the Hank Armstrong award. Oh, we can make him fight 4 times in 1 year and defend our title. Who's the last person to do that? Larry Holmes. This is the best they could do. And now
let's flip that on its end for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's fought 4 times this year, right?
Yep.
But nobody really gives a shit, right?
Right.
But there are other fighters who are supposed to be way ahead of him in the sport. Let's use someone like Shitty Cuz, for example.
Uh-huh.
Why is he only fighting every 8 months or so? Now, Tank Davis, whom you got a weird fan base out there who really loves that guy. Why is he not fighting more often? Then you have other fighters who want to fight more often, but then the other fighters around them won't get in the ring with him.
There you go.
Now, the play is this, so that people like this can have a place in the sport. DEI.
There you go.
You see, I can give you a mirage that comes across as a real ship sailing on the water, but to be honest, is merely a lifeboat struggling to stay afloat. Because if I hold up and bind all of these other forces and elements so that only that lifeboat can be seen on the waters, then that gives the impression that that's the only thing sailing, huh?
There you go.
Think about this. There's a lot of analogy. There's a lot of metaphors going on with what I just said. But I put it that way because I want you to think about what's happening. When Larry Holmes was defending that title, it was because he wanted to fight, and he wanted to fight the best. And people at that time were lining up because they wanted a world title shot. They wanted to be in there and try to win. And some people thought, even in the infancy of his reign, that he still wasn't that good and unproven.
That's right.
But he continued to win and win and win and win. So he established himself. But look around us. In the scope of boxing of today, there are only a handful, and we continue to say this on a regular basis, a handful of men who have that type of determination. But the rest of it is being controlled, people.
That's right.
Al Heyman told the negotiating parties of Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford, I'm not letting anybody touch this fight.
That's what he said.
Why? When it was the best fight going at the time. It wasn't about him not wanting Errol to lose the belts to Bud, or for Bud, if he happened to win, he wouldn't have any options on Bud. It was that whole thing about control and manipulation, which is exactly why when I pointed out the fact that he sent Prince Charles Martin over to the UK to fight AJ for $9 million, when he could have done the same in-house bull crap that he did a couple of years later and had Martin fight Deontay Wilder, who was the presently reigning heavyweight champion of the WBC, and had a unified title in-house. You see, this is control and manipulation. But to the common casual, it may not make sense. But when you really understand and you break the sport down, you can see what's happening. The DEI is real, people. And then you give people like Tyson Fury an opportunity to get access toward titles, and look at all the nefarious play that comes into it. Even cartel leaders now have a way in. All of this is not good, but you want to rail against people like DHP. You want to be disrespectful for people because they're not from your country, like that young man Opataya over there out of Australia.
Yep.
All of these things you're witnessing, and there's no one getting a benefit out of it except for the people who are controlling. Bob Arum said, boxing fans are like rocks. You can kick them in any
Direction. That's right.
and you allowing yourself to be made proven of his statements. Also, to go backtrack to a moment about Larry Merchant, Don King and his so-called horrible his reputation, that was put out there by Larry Merchant. And people picked up on it and they ran with it. Think about this for a moment. Oh, Don King is a horrible promoter. He does things to fighters that, he robs them and this and that. Haven't promoters been robbing fighters forever? Matter of fact, let's talk about Bob Arum and one of the greatest fighters in history whom he robbed. But you never heard Larry mention that, right?
Never.
That Muhammad Ali's boxing promoting program was stolen by Bob Arum. And he never spoke ill of Bob Arum being a crook, did he?
Never.
But he was the one that was investigated by the feds, right?
Sure was.
So it's interesting, like you said, old media, certain parties who have a voice. And at that time, Larry Merchant's voice was very prominent in the sport of boxing. He was the one that's the cause of villainizing Don King. But guess what? Don King made HBO. when he brought boxing off of network television over to pay television, which was HBO, home box office. And they were doing such great things that Don King said, I'm sick of Larry Merchant. I'm going to create King Vision and I'm going elsewhere with my promotions.
That's right.
And that's what happened. But see, some of you casuals wouldn't understand any of this because you were too busy being raised to participate where you didn't necessarily belong because of lack of application. See, I can say these things. I've seen, I've been around, I've experienced, and you know something else? That's not even something that I really talk about. But it probably amazed the hell out of you that I've been able to say what I said in this moment, in instance, because I'm aware. Now, all you need to do is go and do the research and you'll find out, well, God doggone it, Stormy B. Man was spot on with everything that he said.
Damn right. Mook Styles in that super chat, he says, Drew, I saw somebody in the comment section on Facebook say that Inouye could beat Mayweather. I just shook my head, bro. Bro, this is how they, that's actually a real argument nowadays. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. This is how they're going to do us. Now they have something to compare this little guy to an all-time great like Larry Holmes. They're going to actually say, well, pound for pound. Now they want to stick to what pound for pound. They're going to want to stick to what pound for pound really means. Like I told y'all, pound for pound, an ant is stronger than an elephant, pound for pound. An elephant can't pull like 20 times its body weight. An ant can. So pound for pound, an ant is stronger than an elephant. They're going to do the same thing here. Well, if these guys were the same size, Inouye would wash everybody. And that's not true. Renzo back in that super chat, he says, for centuries, they've looked for a hope, non-black savior, to end black dominance. The wild part about it is we'll give non-blacks praise all day. As soon as we show pride, we're biased. We're a biased militant group. Yes. And that's why they don't like the LDBC. That's why they don't like us. We hold everybody accountable. We call it how we see it. We support people that are putting in the work. And we got outside entities that don't know who we are and what we represent and why we even exist. They don't even know. And they'll put LDBC in their name, like this fool, James Franklin. The liar, the grown-ass man who's a liar. Capital L, liar. He's supposed to be some sort of the latest LDBC killer. Nigga, you don't even know why we exist, dummy. You want to run around here buff nuts. Your shoe shining balls. You don't know why we're here doing what we do. You have no idea why we even came about. That's why the industry knows who the hell we are. Because we set the record straight, dummy. This is ridiculous. Is your favorite boxing channel talking about this? Because this is a real thing. You know when you'll talk about it, like I said about an hour ago, when they start talking about, hey, I think he could compete with Tank. Tank's camp already said. When they asked him, who would you want to fight next? Who's his trainer name? The head trainer, not Cal or Kenny, the other guy. He said, I like the monster fight, the Japanese kid. I said, here we go. And y'all don't even realize if that fight's even a reality, y'all are gonna be the B side. And watch how y'all get treated. Watch how y'all get treated. And watch them say, yeah, it'll be a Riyadh season event. But I think Tank needs to come to Japan. Then what you gonna do? Tank's the A side. No, he's not. He ain't fought all year long. The last fight we saw him in, it was a draw. But the last time we saw Inouye, guess what? he accomplished something that the great Larry Holmes did. You see how it's going to hit you in the face? You see that? And all of those fans, the Europeans, the Japanese, all the Asians in America, you need to go over there. He has a country behind him. Why can't you go on foreign soil? Devin Haney did it. Uh-oh. And he gonna take his little Mellow Yellow, gonna take his yellow ass over there. And he gonna stack those raps. And he gonna punch, he gonna punch Tank's shit out. And I'm gonna laugh. Mellow Yellow fans, y'all leave this kid alone, Inouye. Leave him alone. Because at this time, he's the A side. He gonna tell your dumb ass, hey man, catch weight, 128. Tank, all you got going for yourself is the answer no. Stay away from this kid, because the fix will be in for you, and I ain't defending you. Nope, you already know. If this shit's a reality, nope. I'm like, yo, look, y'all heard me say stay away from this little motherfucker, right? Y'all heard me say that, right? Tank, stay away from this dude. Because you ain't gonna be fighting him in the ring. You're gonna be fighting the whole system. You're gonna be fighting. Yeah, ask Nonito Donaire what happened when he went over there. They lost his gloves. This motherfucker stacked his raps. All kinds of shit happened. What the fuck do you think they're gonna do with your tattooed black ass? They don't care how slant your eyes is. You ain't them. They're gonna make an example out of you, nigga. You monkey. What y'all know about this right here? Ernie Shaver is one of the hardest punchers in the history of boxing.
Now Holmes isn't able to move off himself now. But
Boom! When I tell you the fight is supposed to be over right here, Trick in the building, salute. When I tell you the fight's supposed to be over, this is a heavyweight bout. Both of those men are over 200 pounds, and he just ate it. The fight was supposed to be over. My pops said I got up and out there because Larry Holmes is my pop's favorite fighter. My pop said I said, what'd you do when this happened? He said, I got up and I walked towards the TV to go turn the channel. He said, oh man. And he said, I let it run and this happened. Now, he got up. He got up. And I want you to understand something. 9 times out of 10, if Ernie caught you clean like that, the fight was over. This man got up and finished the fight. Who you talking about, man? Stop it. This was the night he became a legend. What are you talking about? Larry Holmes would fight you until he died. Oh, Scott, no official news yet on what Devin's doing next. Rolly's running. I think the Blue said the WBA shut him down with that Manny Pacquiao-ish. So I think don't be surprised if Rolly is in a position where they're telling him, yo, look, you got to fight Devin. And it's shit to get off the pot. Either he's going to fight Devin or he's going to vacate. And if he vacates that belt instead of fighting Devin Haney, bro, listen, y'all ain't gonna ever hear the end of it from me. How did Larry get up, y'all?
He is wobbling. He is holding on. He got caught.
Look at him, look at him, look at him. Look.
Holmes trying to hold together.
Don't tell me anything about no Inouye, man. That's Ernie Shavers doing that.
Holmes defenseless.
Look at him fighting back.
Holmes.
Look.
He ended around here.
Boom.
Dropped his left.
Don't talk, man, please. Yeah, the fight's on YouTube. Go watch it. Don't ever in your life tell me about no goddamn Inouye. Don't ever in your life do that. They had to find something. There's people in Riyadh season saying, okay, we got fighters we want to build. What could we do to put these guys in the same sentence as the all-time greats? And when you say all-time greats, I'm just going to keep it a buck with y'all. When you say all-time greats, what names you start sounding off in your head? And I'm going to be honest with you. How many of them are white? How many? That's a real question. All-time great. Larry Holmes, the Spinks Jinx, of course, Ali, Foreman, Shavers, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Vander Holyfield. What? Just sound them off. Hagler, Hearns, Leonard. Throw a lot of Latinos in there. Throw a bunch of Latinos in there. How many names before you get to a white guy? Think about what I'm asking. Think about what I'm asking. How many names before you get to a white guy? So the only thing they could do to boost this guy's market is to say he defended the ring title, what, 4 times in a year, and the last person to do that was Larry Holmes in '83. And with this statement, they've armed these fools, these casuals, with something to argue about. And when you open up the lines for discussion, they're going to tell you, well, I don't know who Larry fought those years. And I'll tell you right now, I don't know who Inouye fought other than Nonito. I don't know who the fuck these guys are. Listen, this is what I compare this to. Let's say you are in the same high school as what Michael Jordan went to. And let's say you're playing ball and you make 100% of your free throws in that same school. Every game you played in, you made all your free throws. And when the season was over, you hit like maybe 112 free throws in a row. You ain't missed nothing. They're going to give you a trophy, or they're going to put your little trophy in the display in front of the school. And you know what they're going to say? Not even Michael Jordan hit all his free throws. Hey! You hit more free throws than Michael Jordan when he was here. Yeah, well, Michael Jordan, he also got cut from the team. Yeah, so you're kind of better than him in high school. Yeah, but that's Michael Jordan, though. You get my point? You understand what I just said? It's not even close. Let me give you another example. And I mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. One of the dumbest arguments I've had on Facebook. Man, bro, listen. I love social media because it showed how stupid people are. One of the dumbest debates that I ever got lured into. I'm in this god-awful Facebook, and the question came, whose career would you rather have? Robert Horry or Charles Barkley?
I am not a role model.
Remember that? Don't you know all these YNs said they'd rather be Robert Horry? And I'm looking at my screen like, what? I said, wait a minute. Why? Robert Horry got like 6 chips, right? He got like 6 championships. Everywhere he went, it seemed like everywhere he went, he was winning. I'll give him that. And Mr. Big Shot, he's a quality player. Sometimes he started, sometimes he came off the bench, but he was a killer. He was a killer. If you left him open for that 3, he had nerves of ice. He will J you. The original Rockets team, he was a rookie playing like he was in the league a decade already. Him, Sam Cassell. Robert was nice, but he was not Charles Barkley. And what do these YNs say? Yeah, he had 7 chips. What did these YNs say? I'd rather be him. And I said, why? The rings. Okay. But if you had the last position to fill on a team, and I'm talking about prime for prime, do you pick Charles Barkley or Robert Horry? All these little niggas said Robert Horry. I'm like, wait a minute. We're not even talking about Robert Horry right now. And I mean this respectfully. I just said Robert Horry was a killer. But he wasn't Charles. Charles Barkley's like one of the top 50 all-time greats. Top 50, he's on that list. Robert Horry's not even near that list. He's not even near it. It's not even close. How many all-star teams has he made? You want some YN logic? Okay, fine, let's go here. How many shoe deals has he had? Did he play on any dream teams? Was he an all-star? What was he an all-star ever? I'm asking for real. I'm asking for real. I don't understand. Or do I? I said, you know, y'all niggas just want to pop bottles. Y'all are cool riding at the end of the bench with no playing time, but everyone does the work and you get to pop bottles in a locker room? And they put it in writing. We're about the chips. We're about the chips. I said, okay, so we're having two different conversations. Nobody. To me, it's the LeBron Jordan comparison. There is no comparison. There's really none. That's why I don't even entertain that debate, because it's silly to me. It's silly. Charles Barkley, Robert Horry. What are we talking about? Oh, y'all like to party. Y'all like to pop in the bottles. Y'all don't want to do no work. Y'all want to sit down and fake it till you make it. And I'm not saying that Robert Horry is a faker. He was a killer, but he wasn't Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was different. Y'all talking about championships. One of the major reasons why he ain't got a chip was because of Michael Jordan. There's a lot of Hall of Fame players that ain't got chips because of Michael Jordan. Stockton Malone, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley. Clyde Drexler got lucky because Mike left for 2 years and he hooked up with Akeem Olajuwon. But if he fucked around and stayed in Portland, he was about not to get one. What are we talking about? It's a ridiculous conversation. But when you talk about the mentality of people, the mentality, they accept mediocre bullshit as excellence, and they put Inouye in here. I don't care what he did in those lower weight classes. I watched you have trouble with my brother Nonito. And you tried to fuck around with his gloves too, and you're stacking your raps. Don't you dare put him in the same sentence as Larry Holmes. But they did it, and in this meme, they made him the same size as Larry Holmes. And I'm telling y'all, that's racist in itself. At the top of the show, I showed y'all, refer to the world map. You niggas that went to school all your lives, y'all look at the world map in your classroom, they got you thinking that Africa is the same size as South America. And they shrunk Africa so it could be fair. That's what they did. But they also told me when I was a kid, Africa's so big, you could put the United States inside the continent of Africa 3 times. And I said, well, that don't look like right on the map. I've said that since I was a kid. I'm all grown up, and my boy who worked at NASA showed me, he sent me a picture. He said, this is how Africa looks from space. I said, look at this shit. It takes up half the planet. How? They shrunk Africa to be fair. So in this picture, they shrunk Larry to be fair. But what they're doing is sending y'all black asses a message. Prez, shut up before I fucking time you out again. Again, see what I'm saying, little nigga? You pull up late and you miss the entire conversation. And you just gonna blow past what I said about my brother Nonito? You're gonna blow past what I said? When he landed there, they fucking hijacked his gloves and tried to give him Inouye's second pair. And then this little motherfucker stacks his raps. We're gonna blow past that? What are we talking about here? And you see, it's things like this. People like Press is who the system caters to. Because no matter what I said for goddamn an hour and a half, he's still saying that. When Nonito was in his prime at the top of his game, they never did this. They never did this. Ever. Ever. This is a statistic. You see, if this was a real statistic, we would have been saying that Larry Holmes did it, and it would have been something to celebrate since 1983. It'd have been an accolade that I would have spoken about. World champion, fought everybody in or around his division. He ain't ducked no smoke. He stayed way past his time. And in 1983, he defended the ring title 4 times. Nobody was thinking about that. Nobody. Until the Nui did it. Now it's something that these niggas could hold on to. Now, a glove cheat, a hand wrap cheat, because that's what he is. And they just compared him to Larry Holmes. This is what I'm talking about. Now watch this. Prez, what am I talking about this morning? Watch this. And you better answer correctly, young man. What am I talking about this morning? You just got here. What am I talking about this morning? Answer quick, man. Because you typing fast when you're arguing with people. What am I talking about this morning? You did the same silly shit yesterday. You did the same silly shit yesterday. You keep doing this. Are you learning, man? I'm talking about a Nui and Holmes. In reference to what? I'm not talking about the statistics, young man. Watch this. Press. What's wrong with this picture that I made move? What's wrong with it? Since you want to come in here and try and hijack shit like you know what you're talking about, you're not even talking about what we're talking about here. What's wrong with this picture? How long was you listening? Let's see. Since you want to talk. And once again, see, this is the problem with the youth. I said they're the same size. You don't see a problem with this picture, young man? You don't see a problem? Yes or no? You don't see a problem with this? You see, these young people, they don't understand symbolism. They think the world is black and white. When I say black and white, I don't necessarily mean the races. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, I had to answer that phone. They think the world is just black and white. They look at it like that. They think race doesn't apply to them. They think as it pertains to sports, I just gotta train and I gotta show up, and I go boxing. I work hard for the camp, and I work hard in my camp, and then I win. And no. Everything that I talk about here falls on deaf ears because they don't believe it, especially when it doesn't suit their agenda. They don't believe it. And in the words of my father, everything is okay till it's not okay. Until it affects you. Don't believe it. I said what I had to say. I spoke about the symbolism in this damn meme. And I'm telling y'all that this is a stat that nobody on fucking planet Earth was even thinking about until they just said that. And this is how they create a legend. Create. Larry is a legend. He earned it. Inouye was created. Lomachenko created. Golovkin created. What did they say about Lomachenko? After his first pro fight, Bob Arum stood on the podium and said, I haven't seen anything this great since Muhammad Ali or Sugar Ray Leonard. First pro fight. And what happened in his second pro fight? He lost to Orlando Salido and never ran it back. There goes that. Gennady Golovkin, he beats everybody from 160 to 175, 147 to 175. But Abel Sanchez says black fighters fight in a style that's not pleasing to the audience. That's what he said. That's what he said. But who is he trying to fight? He's trying to get Golovkin at 160 to fight Floyd Mayweather, who campaigned at 147. So if we're not eye-pleasing, if we're not pleasing to the eye, why are you trying to fight at that time the best fighter in our generation at that time in Floyd Mayweather? And he was significantly smaller than you. And people were calling for that fight, not because they felt Golovkin was great, but they knew he was bigger. And Floyd would be at a disadvantage. That's what they said. Right in our face. They played right in your face. And a lot of knuckle draggers did nothing. And then enter Andre Ward. They told Andre Ward, nah, you too big, but you got to go up to a higher weight class. But you too big for Triple G. But Triple G was better than Marvin Hagler. That's what they told you. They flew Marvin in and had him take pictures and everything. Was you there for that? Was you there for that? Oh. Enter Tyson Fury. Do I need to go anywhere else with that? Enter Tyson Fury. See what they did? The problem with you young niggas is that, again, I said at the top of the show, you're afraid to admit when you don't know something. And when someone's trying to educate you, you get offended. Instead of saying, hey, man, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't realize. You run around here just trying to fucking argue a point that's null and void. You don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about this morning. At the top of the show, chat, did I not say I never said Inouye is trash? He beat his level of competition. I never said he's trash. I never said Golovkin's trash. I never said Inouye's trash. I never said Loma's trash. He beat his level of competition. But when they run up against their kryptonite, or popular demand moves them away from their kryptonite, then what? Then what? All I hear is excuses. And that's what we deal with. I ain't got to say these dudes is trash. I'm just watching their career. And the majority of people that talk to me about Inouye, they can't tell me anything that he's done on his goddamn resume and make it valid, because you don't know. But they will argue you down. When I say, man, why is he even the same picture as Larry Holmes? Get out of here. Then they want to ask me about Larry Holmes' resume. No, fuck that. Tell me about Inouye's resume. Because your mom ain't even meet your goddamn dad for him to pump her full of lead to make your dumb ass and leave you stranded. If you'd even have a conversation about Larry Holmes, you weren't around. You're uneducated and you don't qualify. There goes that word. qualify. You don't qualify. And if you don't qualify, shut up. Shut up and learn. The same niggas bigging up Champside, my brother Champside, about his Black Murderers Row. One of the funniest things when he said when he uploaded the Black Murderers Row, one of the people that bigged him up was Anthony Joshua. And I said, well, goddamn, you know why that's funny? You want to know why that's funny? Again, you want to know why I found that so funny and strange? Because, nigga, my Nigerian nigga, you froze out your brother Deontay. You was the A side in every direction. You made the call. You could have had that fight at least 3 or 4 times by now. And you stood in that ring and said, we'll freeze you out. And I'll be damned. That's not something that fighters are supposed to do to each other. That's not something black fighters are supposed to do to each other in particular. Well, I'll be damned. But he did it. And you want to big up Champside's documentary on the Black Murderers Row? And here you are in the 2020s actually doing that? How dare you? How dare you? That's just as ridiculous as a pastor preaching a good word in church and he's fucking everybody's wife. Something that I've seen with my own 2 eyes. Marriage counseling. He's supposed to have the couple in there. Why are you only seeing the women? Oh, Sister Judith and Sister Ann, how they pregnant? Oh, that's his baby. Wow. Contradiction, ain't it? Contradiction, ain't it? You cats can't talk to me. You YNs can't talk to me. Prez, I don't give a fuck about what AJ went through. Again, you were not here when I spoke on that. I got a video coming on about that too. I'm gonna make out a real point about the AJ fans. And I don't care how it sounds. Because you know what? Stop me when I'm lying. AJ been running around with those people. And I firmly believe that those people tried to take him out. Because I'm already hearing multiple stories. The car was speeding. And then a witness said, no, the tire blew out. Why is tires blowing out, bro? Who was driving? Coincidental, man. All too coincidental. When we talk about Daniel Kinahan and all this other shit, y'all don't want to believe us. I already told y'all that man that came to my city for Andy Ruiz, my boy who since died during the pandemic, said, yo, your man was walking around with no shoes on, sweating like he had to take a shit. He said, who's the tall British guy, the white guy? I said, that had to be Eddie Hearn. He said, yo, he's on the phone with somebody talking about, I don't know. You remember him in between one of those rounds with Andy Ruiz? Why do I feel this way? You got drugged. They got you. Why do I feel this way? Yeah, his pops tried to flip on Eddie Hearn. I told you to call this fight. He wasn't feeling well. Hey, dog, it's not them, it's me. No, AJ, it was them. It was them. And I firmly believe they tried to get him. This is what happens when you deal with the devils, man. When you make deals with the devils, you always got to get something in return. This is too coincidental. No, Prez, you see, he didn't get hit by the commercial truck. They hit the truck. They said the car was speeding, the truck was speeding, and they said a tire blew out. An eyewitness said a tire blew out because she said she was there. She said, why is CNN talking about they lost control and it hit the truck? They hit the truck because the tire blew out. The truck didn't hit them. They hit the truck.
DJ Academic said, bro, y'all gonna be mad? Hold on. Look at this shit. I'm gonna do a video on this, bro, because I like to let shit rest for a while. I like to let shit rest for a while. But God damn it. First of all, before I put this on Academics, let me ask y'all a question. Hold up. Let me ask y'all a question before I put it on him. Is that him? Is that DJ Academics? Is that him? Is that DJ Academics? Is that him? Look at what if that's him, I don't care who this is. Look at how he wrote that. This is what I'm saying, that because he's a pedophile, by the way. He's a pedophile, by the way. But look at what he wrote. Anthony Joshua has killed 2 others in a car crash. Wait a minute. What? Anthony Joshua reportedly sustained injuries following a road collision in Nigeria that claimed the lives of 2 individuals. But look at that first sentence. Look at that. If y'all are on Twitter, do me a favor. Go over there and see if he took that down. You see why I don't need to be the first? I don't need to be the first reporting anything. I like to let shit rest for a while. I like to let it rest for a while. I'm like, whoa, that sounds crazy, but let's see what happens. You don't have to be first. I'd rather be a week late, but I'd rather be correct with the information. Now, why the fuck would this nigga write this? You see what I'm talking about? It's always what? Us. It's always us. You see? Now, y'all know I don't fuck with AJ, but at no point did I say, hey, I hope he dies. I don't do things like that. I hope he dies. Not unlike this bitch ass nigga, Southpaw TV. That's a real tweet, by the way. You see that? I don't do things like that. Unless it's proven to me that you tried to take a life. Hashtag car fire. Eye for an eye, right? What did Devin do to y'all niggas? Nothing but put in work. Nothing but make your favorite fighter look like a complete and total Buddhisty. And for that, he prayed Devin die. But you said car fire. I sure did. Because Tyson Fury tried to commit murder in a boxing ring with faulty equipment. And he has a reputation of doing so. So please don't talk to me. An eye for an eye. And what happened to AJ is too coincidental for me. I'm not saying something happened, but it's too coincidental to me. To me, it's way. He deleted it? Of course he did. Bitch ass nigga. It's too coincidental, and I know too much about this game. Daniel Kinahan is still at large, man. I also heard reports that AJ's son was in the car. Is that true? Yo, Academics has a face that you want to punch. Big old round fat nigga face, man. I want to punch that dude in his jaw, bro. I want to break his shit. I saw a video of him gaming with some 15-year-old and they got in a sex talk. And I think it was like gay sex talk. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Man, lock that dude up, man. Lock that dude up. Exactly. Someone said his kid was in the car. I I saw the article. I was screenshotting everything. I'm like, man, this is why I don't talk about things. I let it rest for a while. I'm glad he's okay. Prayers to his friends and the family, the people that died in that, because that was horrible. That was horrible. However, I got some shit to say about that. And it's not really AJ. It's his fan base. Video coming soon. His fan base is really fucked off. His fan base is really fucked off. And every time y'all do something, something happens. God ain't wasting no time with y'all. See, it's the end of the year. He ain't wasting no time with y'all. But I got a video coming about that. And I'm releasing it today. Monkeys indeed. Monkeys indeed. I'm so glad that young man is okay. He's gonna need some mental help. Prayers up for the brothers who were lost in that. That is not the way you want to go out, and it was so unexpected. But in this realm of boxing and who AJ associates with, I don't like it. I don't like it, but that's not what my video is actually about. But in closing, fuck Inui. That's what y'all are seeing why I say fuck this guy. Not that I don't know him personally, not that he said anything to make me be like, yo, man, fuck you. No. I'm saying fuck him out of principle because the machine has him. The machine. He's a product of the machine. He's no different from Loma, Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, Tyson Fury. He's from that cloth. Can he fight? A little bit. Little bit. But don't you dare compare him to Larry Holmes. This is blasphemous. Because that's another thing these niggas say. Larry Holmes has a career that extends decades. This kid was born in what, late 90s? Man, shut up, man. Shut up. With your stacked hand wraps. And losing my brother's gloves when he get to Japan. Shut up. The fighters I watched growing up, they worked hard in camp. Blood, sweat, and tears. Were there steroids back then? More than likely, yes. But we didn't do things like that. That started happening when it became more accessible. Fuck you talking about, man? Larry Holmes in the ring. He's been fighting longer than a lot of you niggas been born, man. Get out of here with this Inui shit. Fuck out of here. And you know what's magnificent about these guys? I always know how it ends. Look what happened to Sergey Kovalev. Ain't nobody talking about him right now. Ain't nothing legendary about him. Gennady Golovkin going to Hall of Fame. Let me ask y'all a question. I did a video on it. Is his resume Hall of Fame worthy? And the only thing they could compare him to is Marvin Hagler. He wasn't even better than Bernard Hopkins at 160. Stop it. Stop it. Nobody compared Bernard Hopkins to Marvin Hagler. That would have been a beautiful boxing match. But nobody's done it. Here come Gennady Golovkin from Who Gives a Fuckistan, and then they doing it immediately. I know how it ends. I know how it ends. Lomachenko, I know how it ends. Orlando Salido, you don't want to get it back in blood? Fine. You getting it with Devin Haney? You got your shit boxed in. And you never got the tank fight. And when a nigga tried to wait for you to get old, which is what he did to try and fight you, you retired. Heard he might come back. I don't care. I know how this ends. Y'all threw Chocolatito at us. What happened? He went from being pound for pound to getting slept by Sarung Basai. Twice. I'm good. Did he fight Sarung? I know he fought him twice. The second time, he slept him badly. Or was it the first? Well, he got slept, bro. I know how this ends. And Inoue, okay, we seen him hit the deck a few times. It's going to happen. And the best they can do is put him in a fucking meme the same size as Larry fucking Holmes. And they keep throwing shit at the wall, hoping something will stick. And the best they could do is make this kid fight 4 fucking times so he could tie up some goddamn record that Larry Holmes did that nobody was talking about since '83. And the majority of people that are going to try and argue me about this stat, y'all niggas was born in 2000. I'm not talking to y'all. Take your Inoue praise and glaze and go to fuck somewhere with it. Because I'm not supporting this kid out of principle. Because I know what it means. As soon as they put this meme out, I know what it means. And I'm not overdoing it. Y'all are just not thinking on the same level that I am. And the system depends on you lost niggas. They depend on it. So go on, keep arguing with me and fighting with me and just being contrary. I know what I know. This is how I got this far in life. I know what I know. You go ahead, because they love niggas like you. There's something called a nigga wake-up call. And when you get it, you might not even realize what the fuck it is. Because you be in that little river in Africa, you know, the Nile. And when there's no other explanation but what you're seeing, keep it to yourself. Because I'm not fighting for you. Whether you're in the chat or you're a fighter. I'm not. Deal with it. Y'all saw what happened to Myron in Fresh and Fit. They went to some rally they had, and they thought they had a guest pass, and they were escorted out. Their black nigga asses was escorted out. Saw that? Keep talking though. Time reveals all truth, and the lie's nothing but the long way to the truth. You keep praising these guys. See where it gets you.
Yeah, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Yeah, man, come on! Better than that!
I think you don't know, now you know.
Nigger.
Can't stand y'all. Swear to God.
All my troubles come more nigga. Yeah, it makes me mad. Why you niggas are so against somebody for you?
How much longer do you think your
It
mom
makes me so mad. Long enough to beat your ass if you fuck up. That's right. You might not get out of this stadium tonight. You gotta be cool because you've been watched.
Man, salute to everyone in the Venmo that's held the Cash App, the Super Chat, man. Go ahead and get my day started. Stormy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, we about to pack it up, brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just, dialed tuned in, man. It's like, the message that you had today overall about placing someone where they don't need to be, as opposed to not respecting the entity that where you're trying to place that person. Isn't that really something? It's interesting.
Yeah. And they depend on to be honest, man, they just depend on the youth. And the youth minded, the people that are not seeing with their third eye open.
Right. The ignorance of the youth.
Ignorance,
They depend on that. Yeah.
And that's why I tell everybody, I brought some people up here during the year so y'all can see it yourself, because a lot of people think that we exaggerate. We talk about the lack of brain capacity from these other YouTubers. We're not making it up. So I did it, y'all saw it, and every now and again I do it so y'all can see it, to know that I'm not exaggerating. And that's the end of it. They're not welcome up here anymore. But y'all seen it yourself. Seen it yourself. And the machine depends, because unfortunately those people are in abundance. You have a bunch of inmates running the asylum. And I don't conduct that here. I run this. So now that y'all seen it, I exposed it. Y'all take the information and do what you want with it. But see where it gets you. In another 10 years from now, they're going to be telling you that Gennady Golovkin's place in the Hall of Fame is greater than Marvin Hagler's. They're going to do it. They're going to do it, bro. Just like they're going to tell y'all that Eminem is the best rapper in the last 50 years in another 10 years. I'm telling you, they're going to do it. Now, Eminem will tell you I'm not. He'll say I'm not. But the system is going to tell you. And they're not going to talk about lyrical play and what their songs meant and how hard they hit and how they affected the culture of hip hop, something that black people created. You know what they're going to talk about? Record sales. Just like when we talk about pound for pound lists, they started factoring in revenue generated, seat sales. You see that? You see what I just said? But you niggas, y'all don't want to hear that. When I tell you it's dangerous when y'all do shit like that, and you behave like that, you don't want to hear that. So y'all go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead. That's all I got, man. Stormy, I don't know how they can find you, bro.
They can find me right here on YouTube. There's 3 channels. There's Stormy B Man in all caps, but no cap. There's a Stormy B Man Temple of Culture and Entertainment. There's a Stormy B Man Kung Fu Temple. So that's what we're working with. And we're migrating over to Rumble, where we can promote and present without restriction. So it is what it is. Peace to everybody. Thank you for having me, Drew.
Anytime, good brother. And we're coming up on the end of the year, man. Salute International Quiet Storm. And salute to International Quiet Storm. He's an original moderator from the Kevin Samuels show. Yes, sir, man. Salute to you, brother. Always a pleasure seeing you. Man, salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, Super Chat. This is what I do. And I will always go against the grain. And y'all take the information and do what you want with it. But I'm content with the fact that it's being said. You know, but I know how this ends. I always do. And y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bronx on deck.
Move! Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.